Alright, y'all, let's see how our first commission is gonna go. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Astrea's Broken Heart, Season 1, Episode 2. Yo, honestly, I thought the introduction was kinda cute. Still don't know what to make out of the storyline. I mean, there's a lot to unfold here. Like, the boys are all mysterious, they're all versatile. And when you meet one character, the other one is completely different. Like, the author made a great job in creating completely different love interests. Like, they're all completely different. That's something completely new. So, the characters are already pulling me in. I'm not sure what to make out of the storyline just yet, but it was just the first episode, so let's see what this episode is like. The first step in your new life has been taken, and now the next one awaits. Just make sure to watch where you thread. Well, episode 2, the haunted place. Alright, we need to perform an exorcism, I think. Simona thoughtfully examined the outfit David had carefully left behind for her. He tossed them on the bed and wasn't even embarrassed that I was lying in it. Nah, this man is actually... Can I call him a pedophile? No, I can't, because that's more like for children, like abusing them. No, but this man is a stalker. Like, he's a creep. That's like invasion of privacy. You can't just walk into my room. But credit where credit was due. Her colleague's antics had managed to distract her from the horror of her dream. Doesn't matter, like, he still can't just come into my room like that, the heck. And a cold shower finally brought her to her senses. Okay, let's see what sort of costumes they wear to exorcise demonic forces. Nice one, I'd say. Okay. A true professional, right? Honestly, sometimes I don't know what to do with the story, like... Honestly, I like the purple. We slay with purple. Not bad. I should style my hair in a way that will make the right impression on clients, right? If you... Oh my god, what the heck? Honestly, they all look ugly. I don't know what to do with a storyline like this. It's always the same. Like, there are stories that make you completely... You know what? I'm gonna keep it. I'm not even gonna change it. There are stories that make you have, like, beautiful outfits and awful hairstyles. Then there are stories where you have beautiful hairstyles and beautiful outfits, but the storyline sucks. And then the other way around. Every single outfit is awful and the storyline sucks too. Now, to not get lost, finding my way to the kitchen. After taking one last look at herself in the mirror, Simona ran out into the corridor. The kitchen had a homey atmosphere that was unusual for the mysterious place. David, humming softly to himself, was making breakfast. I hope he's making one for me too, because if not, a melancholic... Raphael. I have a soft spot for Raphael. Again, musician. Sat at the table, gazing longingly out the window, clearly wishing he were somewhere else. Aren't we all? Especially when you're sitting at work. Good morning. Morning. You're just in time. Everything is almost ready. Take a seat and pick whatever you want. No need. I can make my own breakfast. Oh, bitch, just shut the fuck up and allow them, like, to... swoon you. Like, allow them to make a good impression. Don't worry, my cooking is not only eatable but also very tasty. I thought you would be most in your element behind a bar. You know I do everything well. Right. I'm gonna need you to actually show me that. Like, words are not gonna cut it. You're actually gonna have to put on some performance for me to actually believe that. Have him pick out women's outfits. Right. And you're also a stalker and a creeper, walking into my bedroom without my permission. Just look how I guessed the right size. Nah, that's just creepy. Pause. That's where the fun ends. Like, this is actually creepy. Like, if our boyfriend perhaps if he was our boyfriend and he would be like, now see, we made out, like I got to grab your ass, I got to grab your boobs, like I got to squeeze everything, like I'm very great at figuring out your size, wasn't I? Like it suits you, everything fits well. Then maybe since you're already in an intimate relationship, you would even feel kind of flustered, like you would blush. But this, we just had like one moment with him. Like we talked a little bit, we got to know him a little better, but still, we have only known him for a day. And he coming like that, that's creepy. It fits you perfectly. Just like my fist in your face. This man really knows how to ruin the atmosphere. Like, I kind of like this man's vibe, as you all can tell. But then he says stuff like that and I'm already like, shut the fuck up. He kind of giving me the general vibes. Like, he had potential and then the author ruined him. And that's the same thing happening here. Now hurry up and sit. We have a hard day ahead of us and you need your strength. Take your pick, don't be shy. Okay, let's see what we have here. Ooh, English breakfast. Oh my god, alright. Coffee and what? Y'all, I'm gonna have to marry this man. Please cook me that every single day. But not black coffee, please, because black coffee is just not for me. I love my coffee with a lot of sugar. More like I love sugar with coffee. Great choice. David turned to the stove, and after some hesitation, Simona sat down across Raphael. Have you slept well in your new room? The deathly pale man looked at her with such a dull gaze that it was as if he himself hadn't slept for at least a week. Yes, everything is fine. Thank you for asking. Simona decided not to say anything about her nightmare. Well, at least it's not visible on her face, that's something. Unsure of what to talk about, she glanced around. A small notebook with a sketch of the landscape outside the window caught her eye. The lines were jagged and broken, as if their artist couldn't draw a single straight line. Noticing her gaze, Raphael closed the notepad a little nervously and moved it away. Is he all right? Is he shy about his drawings? I have the feeling he's not okay. I feel like it's such an insult the way I'm saying it, so I'm trying like to explain what I mean. I have the feeling that, I don't know, maybe some demon kind of like kept him up all night, like he performed a spell and it completely drained him of all his energy, and now he's completely frustrated. He can't focus, like, I don't know, his lips are chapped, like his eyes are always wandering around the room. He can't find some inner peace of mind, like something like that, if you get what I mean. That's why I'm asking if he's okay. Maybe I should encourage him. He seems so unhappy. Support Raphael, yes. Is this man okay? Wow, you not only play but also draw? Raphael fidgeted with his fingers under the table, clearly struggling with some emotions. I can tell. I really draw. Sometimes I just want to create something beautiful. But you are beautiful. Now, I have to say, again, I feel like I'm such a bitch for saying it like this, but I feel like I'm just saying what everyone is already thinking. Like, that's like my personal opinion. Physically, this man does not attract me. But his personality pulls me in, and that's everything that I always want to give out to everyone. Like the same was with Heaven's Secret Requiem. Everyone's swooning over the general, and me, the second I met this man's personality, I immediately told him to shove it. And he is one of the most gorgeous ones out of that entire squad. Of course, my heart was beating for Kane, and then, of course, Greg got in the mix of all of this. But you cannot tell me that Dimitri physically is ugly. He not, but his personality is trash. And it makes him ugly. Now here, it's the difference, and that's why I keep on highlighting it. Your physical appearance has nothing to do with the beauty you carry within. A lot of people like neglect or try to overlook someone's beauty from within just because they may not be the most beautiful men on the planet. Like, allow yourselves to be a little more open-minded and, like, give someone a chance. Like, I love when someone is capable to draw. It shows that they're an artist. And that means that they want to create something of their own. They want to have the power to change things. Because when you are an artist, you want to create something on your own. You want to create something that is yours. Something that makes you happy. And that's like someone that actually wants to kind of change the world for like talking it big. Like, you can move someone as an artist. You can move someone with a drawing, with speech, with musical instruments, with singing. These are all artists. And that makes him so beautiful. Something that will leave a mark on this earth after I'm gone. What did I say? I love it. People usually leave behind hairs. Can't he procreate? I feel like I'm such... Y'all, I'm such a bitch. Children. Yes. Raphael's voice sounded comically surprised, as if the idea of fatherhood had never occurred to him. Can't he procreate again? I feel like such a bitch for saying it like this. Like, I would never actually dare to say this like out loud, but in front of a person, because I feel like that would be too much. But like, no one can hear me besides y'all, so it's fine. People do that sort of thing much more often than they paint brilliant pictures or compose great symphonies. What about love? You speak as if it doesn't exist. I believe in love, but I don't believe I'll be able to find it in time. Life is short. I feel like this man is my soulmate in this story. Again. We are all in here for the character. Usually people who say that find it completely by accident. Look around. Maybe love is already somewhere nearby. If this man keeps on being such a fine-ass man with his beautiful personality, I may even fall in love with him. Raphael looked longingly into the eyes of his persistent interlocutor. So without meaning to, Simona could see unspoken feelings swirling inside him, seeping out in music, paintings. As you can see, I am into artists, apparently. It's my weak spot. Fight me. I feel like an artist, like musician, singing, etc., that comes before like a dominance, asshole attitude, everything. Because I used to desire to be an artist so badly. But I feel like I'm sort of already an artist. Maybe not like singing, but I do sort of give out emotional speeches and try to motivate people. So I feel like I'm sort of an artist. You only need to listen and look closely to understand exactly what he was trying to tell you. She wanted to take him by the hand and talk to him, ask him what was on his mind. But she didn't want to become a psychologist for this young man who didn't ask her for help. Y'all, this story is gonna do something to me. Simona, Raphael is of delicate character. If you're not careful, he will believe what you tell him. That's not okay. That's not funny. David inserted himself into our conversation so unexpectedly that Simona did not immediately respond. Sorry, but what's wrong with that? Raphael will end up falling in love and running away to the ends of the earth with his beloved. And who will do his job then? Ugh. Again. Ruining his character just like they did with Dimitri. Like, in my eyes, someone should be capable to read between the lines. Read between the fucking lines. Yes, I'm emotional. I have a lot of baggage. It does not make me stupid. It does not make me completely gullible. I can make my own decisions. I have my own mindset. I can see things by myself and I can make my decisions by myself. Thank you very much. You could hire another appraiser. No one except Raphael can handle it, my dear little witch. So don't sway him to the dark side. Oh, I will persuade him to the dark side. If it's possible, I will. The cheerful notes in David's voice hinted at some kind of inside joke, but Simona didn't see the humor. Me. When David turned away again, she leaned toward Raphael and whispered, "There is no such thing as an irreplaceable person. Trust me, I know. If everything was as the bosses say, I wouldn't be here." But Raphael did not appreciate her frankness. The sadness in his eyes was replaced by a strange, painful determination. Yeah, he's gonna put an end to the conversation. "I know that love will only bring pain, both to me and to the one who shared that feeling with me." Oh, hell no. Alright, y'all, I'm placing it already in here. I will not play with this man. As much as I actually thought about it to create, like, the drama, I will not play with this man. If I'm gonna decide to actually pursue this man, then it will be only him. I can't do that to him. That's the same decision that I made back in the day with Dino. Like, he too pure-hearted. I cannot actually do that with him. And I did the same with Livius as well, now that I think about it. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. No, you were honest. That's fine. I'm just terribly tired. Son, you don't need to explain that. That's fine. With their conversation seemingly over, Raphael reached for his untouched breakfast plate and accidentally nudged a nearby cup of tea. Having caught dozens of cups over the course of her career, Simona caught this one too without spilling its contents. But the clumsy Raphael suddenly performed a miracle of reaction. They caught the cup together. Smiling guiltily, Raphael withdrew his hand, but not immediately, or so it seemed to her. It's actually nice to feel free of obligations sometimes. Maybe that's why I like music so much. It transports me to a different world, you know. No, he has a lot of imagination, and that's what you need if you are an artist. You need to actually be willing to read between the lines, like to go outside of your comfort zone. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be like an extrovert now, like actually doing something that you would never willingly do. But you need the sight, like actually to allow yourself to see things from a different perspective, to hope for a better future, knowing that perhaps in this lifetime this will never ever happen to you or for anyone on this earth. Like, you have a different mindset as an artist. I think so, yeah. And I'd be glad to share that tiny escape from reality with you sometime. I'd love to, Raphael. Absolutely. After a short silence, Raphael finally started eating breakfast. To avoid embarrassing him any further, Simona stared at David's back. You managed to dispel Raphael's melancholy. Oh. Out of the corner of her eye, Simona noticed Raphael lift a spoonful of porridge, only to immediately lower it back onto the plate. His hands are shaking so much. Excuse me, I'm going to my room. I wanna hug this bitch. I wanna hug him. I truly do. I feel the need to. The chair's legs scraped the floor with a loud, unpleasant sound as Raphael abruptly stood up. Have a good first day, Simona. Not this man actually trying to hide his discomfort, awkwardness, embarrassment, and moment of weakness behind fake smiles. I hate when people do that. I said that so many times, so I'm just gonna say it in short. A lot of people feel the need to pretend that they're alright when you actually can see that they are not. Like, they're in tears and you ask them, are you alright? And they're like, yes, I'm fine. But you can see that there are tears in their eyes, they're crying, and they feel the need to, I don't know, like dispel their tears just so that you don't think that they are emotional or that they're fragile or that they're weak. I hate that. You're human, you have emotions, you can show them. That people are out there that actually make you feel like shit just because you have human emotions is a mystery to me. After following him to the door with an alarmed look on her face, Simona turned to David. Is he okay? No, he ain't. Never mind him. Raphael always gets so nervous when he plans his pointless conversations with his father. Oh my gosh, he's an introvert too. David didn't seem to care at all. Damn! As if nothing had happened, he put the plates on the table and took on his modest breakfast, a cup of coffee. Simona got stared on her own. And although David clearly loved to show off, breakfast turned out to be very tasty indeed. Do they have a complicated relationship? Raphael and his father.
You could say that. If you stay, you could probably help sort out his feelings.
I would love to help him. Family therapy is not my specialty, I'm afraid. You don't need to give him family therapy. Just giving him words of advice. You see, especially if you're extremely introverted, like very lonely, you find yourself in a very vulnerable position. And when you actually do, then you just want to like feel that there is someone out there that's willing to listen to you, not willing to judge you, that they are there just for the long run. A lot of people are just there for the gossip and then they abandon you after they're fed up with it. They don't truly care about you, they're just here for the gossip. So just make him feel that you're there for the long run. The second he feels like he can trust you, the second he feels comfortable around you, he's gonna talk to you. David chuckled, trying to hide a smile behind his cub. Why is he laughing at that?
Thought his father will show up.
Damn, daddy issues too. A belated realization pierced painfully through her. Is he dead?
My, aren't you curious?
David picked up the dirty cups and dishes, putting an end to the conversation.
Don't lose that enthusiasm on your way to the client.
He's right. Why did I bother him with questions? Don't worry, I won't. Let's go. Because we care. The fact we wanted to ask questions was that we care. The drive took about an hour. For most of the ride, the newly formed team rode in silence, only occasionally exchanging thoughts about the task ahead. Then just 5 minutes away from reaching their destination, David realized that he hadn't briefed Simona on the case. Not at all embarrassed by the driver's stunned stare, he explained that it was extremely important not to touch anything suspicious in haunted houses, because I would touch anything in that house.
Or things that look too old or too beautiful. And if you hear an object calling out to you or promising to fulfill your every desire, be sure to tell me.
Not this man actually saying, I don't know, that there is like a genie around. If I hear something like that, the first thing I'm going to do is tell a therapist.
And don't wander around the house without me. It would break my heart to lose such a wonderful appraiser.
Right. Me. I promise not to get lost or break your heart.
I really hope so.
Bye. Realizing the ambiguity of her phrase, Simon nervously fell silent, but David didn't seem to pay it in mind.
And the most important thing that you must understand is that you and I are not only looking for the possessed, but also for those who have been possessed before. That's why it's important that you find out if some kind of illness is interfering with her case. So we don't waste any time.
We're looking for traces of the supernatural. I remember. Even saying it out loud sounds incredibly stupid. Maybe someday I'll get used to it. I'll never be able to handle this like it's normal. I don't know which way to go. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna have to check real quick. This. After all, recognizing illness is my job.
Well, it seems we have arrived.
Along the way, Simona had imagined what the haunted place would be like, and her imagination had painted some truly terrible pictures before her. I actually thought everything was dark, like this huge-ass house from, I don't know, Dracula, Frankenstein. But inside the house was actually quite ordinary. A simple layout, inexpensive furniture, bright rooms. The client made a fuss around David, bombarding him with hysterical phrases. Simona stood quietly nearby, studying the man's behavior. He didn't seem to notice her at all. He's displaying half the symptoms of a nervous breakdown.
I beg you rid of me of the horrors of this house. I would love to move out right now, but I invested all my money into it, and now I can't even afford a lousy place to stay. That lying filthy religion needs to give me back every penny and pay me for emotional damages.
As soon as the client stopped his hysteria and mentioned money, David's expression became predatory.
And how much do you want on top? I want to take everything from him. That will take everything from him.
Simona gave her partner a sideways glance. Y'all, it's the side look. Oh god, there was something terrifying in his quiet, confident voice. For a moment she felt uncomfortable.
At night there is a vast stench and I hear a grinding sound. The demon is constantly whispering, moaning, laughing, and no matter what room I go into, it follows me.
And how long have you been hearing these sounds? The client shuddered and shifted his frightened gaze to Simona, as if noticing her for the first time.
Excuse me, but who are you anyway?
He really has trouble grasping reality. You know what? I'm a psychologist. If in honesty, like, if we say we're a psychologist, then he's actually gonna be extremely upset, because especially if you are in like the state of delirium because of all the pain you're in and you are scared, you're dealing with panic attacks, with anxiety attacks, because you are a nervous wreck, because you fear of what all this could actually mean for you, actually noticing that you are mentally unstable and that you could possibly like need to be put into a mental institution, or like someone giving you some sort of sleeping draft in order to calm you down. Like, no one wants to go through that. So actually saying a psychologist would actually have a very negative turn of events for that. So I'm under the impression that you hired us. That's hilarious. Honestly, an appraiser. Reputation seems to be, I don't remember what it was called in Heaven's Secret. But yeah, I know what this is.
Appraiser, are you appraising my house?
Yes, your home. And also your stress levels. All this is necessary to draw up a competent legal claim.
And issuing a hefty bill.
Bye!
In any case, you will have to answer a few questions for my colleague. Well, if it's necessary. Make yourself comfortable while I inspect the house.
After inviting them to take a seat on the sofa as if it were his own, David left. The client stared at Simona with undisguised suspicion. I'm not going to put you in a psychiatric hospital, God. What did I just say? What did I just say? Because we all hear about this in society, sadly. If you actually believe that, if you actually have the feeling that you are mentally deteriorating, then you're petrified that someone actually gets a whiff of that. Because nowadays, when someone says that they're psychologically unstable, then they actually have the feeling that they're going to call someone and actually take them into a mental institution for them to actually be drugged and put on ice like forever. They will never ever see the light of day. You can also thank television for that. So of course, actually finding that out, I did just say what's gonna happen. He doesn't look like he'll behave unpredictably, but I should still ask my questions carefully. Describe your physical condition.
Oh, else could it be? I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't live in peace.
Anxiety.
I have a splitting headache and the painkillers aren't helping at all.
That's the fucking problem. A lot of people say this. Y'all, the story is gonna be way too much for me. Or more like for you, because I'm gonna be analyzing the shit out of everything. Like, when you put too much stress on yourself because of the anxiety that you feel, because of everything that could happen, because like you display all the negative outcomes of you actually accepting that you're psychologically ill, or like the outcomes of what other people could think about you once you actually have to admit to yourself that you need professional help. That puts a lot of stress on your mental health, and sooner or later you will start to experience a lot of negative side effects from mental pain, which can become physical. As I said before in the past, They can show in sign of like panic attacks or anxiety attacks, but they can also show in like stomach ache, heartache, as in you having the feeling that your chest keeps on tightening, or headache because you put too much stress on yourself. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already been through that. When there is too much stress going on with them, like they hear this sort of noise in their ear. That's a sign that you are too stressed. And that's what's happening to him as well. What happens outside the house? Do you hear these unexplained noises or smell strange odors in the other places?
Of course not, I'm not crazy.
Are you sure? Yeah, you just seem hysterical. Me, do you keep in touch with your loved ones?
Of course, I have an elderly mother. But she lives in another country and I can drop everything and go there. We agreed that she would move in with me. What am I going to tell her now?
Have you described your situation to anyone other than us?
Of course not, I'm not an idiot. I know what it looks like from the outside.
Yeah, that you're insane. These responses are reasonable. Yes! Mental health is not a disease, ladies and gentlemen. Like, there is a reason when people get depressed or when people get anxiety and panic attacks. Everyone just makes it seem like this is like an illness. Like when people say a nervous wreck, like it sounds like an insult. But it means anxiety attacks. That's when you are a nervous wreck. You get extremely pale. You can't think straight anymore, like you're on edge all the damn time. That's a nervous wreck, but that's anxiety. And you get that when you have the feeling that no matter what you do or say, people will judge you. They will make you feel like you don't belong anymore and that you actually need to be dealt with. His speech is not slurred and his logic is present despite the fact that he hasn't slept in days. After asking him a few more questions, he wanna call David over and ask the client to let them talk in private.
Well, what do you think?
This is unlikely to be sarcomeria. I would say this is the result of some kind of stress. Boom. Maybe he started having problems in his personal life or at work. Y'all, what can I tell you? I just know.
I'll try to find out.
It would be nice, of course, to conduct a proper medical examination, an MRI of the brain, some blood tests. He hasn't been sleeping, and sooner or later insomnia can lead to stranger things than these. Insomnia sucks because you do want to sleep, but the visions are actually keeping you awake. So it literally has to do with like your psychological health. And these medicines are not going to help you on the long run. You need to deal with your psychological pain. The second you start to dive into your psychological pain, the more your psychological pain or trauma seems to disperse because you are actually starting to heal from it and you're starting to deal with your trauma, the easier it will be for you to fall asleep, because then you won't actually fear of being confronted with your worst nightmares when you're asleep. The reason you can't fall asleep is because you actually see what you're most afraid of, what you're dealing with, the second you close your eyes. Your subconscious knows that, so you refuse to fall asleep. And then it's more powerful than you. Then it becomes physical, so even if you want to sleep, you can't fall asleep.
There's something to that.
You think? What about you? Did you find anything interesting?
I did. I heard a creak in the basement.
Simona tried to put a neutral expression on her face, but her voice still came out skeptical. Maybe it's the mice, not the mice.
Yes, mice opening tiny doors to their holes.
Right. Path of skepticism. Well, of course, it'd be much easier to explain everything away by saying there's a demon here. What's next? Leave the job to exorcists? Ooh.
No, of course not. We're going to start exorcising the demons together.
Right. Well, since you heard something in the basement, let's go to the basement.
Don't worry, if things start getting dicey, we'll call CASSIEL. Assuming we even get a chance to call him, of course.
Not appreciating the joke, Simona rolled her eyes and led the way into the corridor. This man really... I don't know what to think about this man at this point, so I'm just gonna leave this open. Like, he is strange. Like, His personality sometimes does not add up. The basement smelled damp and moldy. The boards that lined the room had begun to rot. Not the best choice of materials for this room. Boxes containing all sorts of things stood in high, unstable piles. All right, might be here for a while.
If you don't know what to look for, then yes.
Then when I looked into some labeled boxes, everything inside was neatly folded and the contents of each box corresponded to their labels, which made searching much easier.
What do you think will be more useful?
I think we should look at the layout of the house. Simona laid out a large sheet of blueprints on the floor. At first glance, everything looked normal, but her instincts told her to take a closer look. David, look here. Judging by these numbers, the basement should be much larger. David appeared behind her as quickly as if he had always been there.
Someone shaved off 100 square feet, huh? Well done, your eyes aren't just beautiful, they're insightful too. If only we could talk to the previous owner of the house.
David looked at some yellowed newspaper clippings with delight. What are you talking about?
Turns out this is the second owner our demon has annoyed to the hell out of. He literally made the first one disappear.
Meaning?
Our dear client may be hiding his experiences with his mystical friend from the rest of the world, but the previous owner did not. In fact, he was telling everyone about how a demon was after him. He even became famous for trying to forcefully drag a priest in here.
David handed the psychologist a newspaper clipping with a photo of a man being led to a police car in handcuffs. He looked terrible, dark circles under his eyes, sunken cheeks, disheveled hair.
A year ago, he disappeared. His wife sold the house.
If the client read this article, he could have been influenced by it.
It says your theory. I just noticed a strange gap in the wall.
With a single tug, David ripped out a rotten board and peered into the resulting opening.
Look, it seems we have found another hallway.
After tearing off a few more planks, David beckoned Simona to follow him and immediately vanished into the darkness.
Come on, my dear little witch, don't be afraid.
I'm actually wondering why the fuck he's calling me a little witch. Maybe going in there isn't the best idea, especially not with this little bitch right now. The sudden realization that she really was afraid of facing some kind of demon washed over her with a sobering wave. Honestly, I don't know where to place David. No, hold up. No, that's David. I don't know where to place this man, so I'm confused. Get real, it's just a house, an old house showing its age. I lived somewhere like this. I know that houses creak and groan and knock. I'm coming. The hallway wasn't as dark as she'd imagined. The light they had turned on in the basement seeped through the cracks. Walking carefully on the uneven floor strewn with strange debris, Simona quickly caught up with David. He was waiting for her and hadn't gone far.
Just watch your step.
Of course. Simona looked both at her feet and around her, trying the best not to touch anything. I really don't want to step on a rusty nail or anything. Or on a dead body. David walked lightly and naturally like a dancer. Meanwhile, Simona was in constant fear of twisting her ankle. And as it turned out, her worries weren't unfounded. As soon as she was distracted, her foot slipped treacherously off solid ground and into a shallow hole in the floor. In an instant, David was at her side. He grabbed her by the waist and effortlessly helped her to free her foot.
Are you hurt?
Their faces were so close that David's voice dropped to a whisper, and Simona involuntarily responded just as quietly. No, everything is fine. Why won't he let me go? Because you are closey close? Don't move away. I'm just gonna start chaos right away, y'all. I'm warning you. Thank you.
Scared?
Nope. David leaned in close to her ear and tickled her skin with his hot breath. This man is a menace, and I still don't know if I like this kind of messiness or not.
Then why are you trembling?
Because you're making me go hard. Or more like in my case, you make me go wet. Because I'm not a guy. Simona herself did not understand why her body was suddenly responding to his touch that way. You see, there are these men that actually have like this charisma about themselves. No matter what they do, like you immediately feel electrified the second they look at you. They just have like this power. She wanted to break out of his tight embrace, but she also wanted to stay in it longer. The struggle, I feel you. His hands rested gently on her waist, not gripping tightly, and her skin remembered his touch and how easily he lifted her into the air. So strong. Even through the thick fabric of his suit, she could feel the searing heat emanating from him. Maybe I'm afraid of seeing that demon at the end of the hallway. In David's hands, Simona experienced an inexplicable range of emotions, but fear was definitely not one of them.
Don't be afraid, Simona. He probably looks human.
That's not gonna calm me down a great bit, but thank you, honey. David pulled away, but only looked into her eyes.
Like an ordinary person possessed by an extraordinary entity.
In the surrounding darkness, David's eyes suddenly looked frighteningly black. Like two bottomless pits. What have I gotten myself into? Y'all, is he a demon?
And if it gets really scary, close your eyes, Simona. Close your eyes and don't think about anything.
But me, not understanding why Simona obeyed. His partner's smug face disappeared, leaving only his minty breath. It ran along her cheekbones, touching the tip of her nose, her chin. A kiss already? As if taking advantage of the opportunity, David shamelessly studied the features of her face. It's like a kind of hypnosis. What did I say? He has that power! Oh no! That's dangerous when a guy can do that. I have no idea why that is. I'm just trying to explain it. Like, there are these men, and like, they know how to use their sex appeal, and they know how to put their body in scene, like they know how to use body language, like eye contact, in order like to make a woman melt. There are guys like that. They can say and do whatever they want. They will always be capable to turn you on, and I hate that, but it's very rare that those guys exist. And as much as I hate it, let's be real, the second we like a guy, we all become wimps. I know you all in the comment section. I remember the comment section with Malbonte. Like, I was a fucking wimp and you all could agree. Like, we're all wimps for guys. As much as I want to show that I'm strong, we become weak ass bitches when we fall in love with a guy. Okay, especially with the red flags. Like, shame on us, but we're proud bitches, okay? And there are men out there that actually can do the exact same thing. Like, they can make you become a wimp for them out of their own free way. Like, sometimes we don't realize that we're becoming wimps, but these guys actually have the talent to make you become a wimp without you actually wanting to. That's dangerous. The walls of the already narrow hallway felt as if they were shrinking, pushing their bodies together. Or did we get closer on our own? I feel like he's hypnotizing us to walk closer to him. Does he have the power of persuasion? That would be interesting. Her thoughts drifted somewhere far away. They dissolved into a strange, inexplicable desire to snuggle closer together.
And when you open them, Simona, I'll have it all figured out.
Is this an inside message? I know I won't get any spoilers from y'all, and thank you for that, but still, I'm intrigued. Is he a demon? Simona opened her eyes and stared at her partner. She nodded without meaning to the almost chaste distance between them. Was it really my imagination? David let go of her waist and smiled innocently. You are anything but innocent, my guy.
And please watch your step, or I'll never take you or anyone else on such an exciting adventure with me again.
You've piqued David's interest. Of course I did, because he knows he has power over us, so now he feels he needs to use it. David glanced at her again, and after making sure she was okay, he continued on his way. But then he stopped again almost immediately. Trying to keep up, Simona almost crashed into his back. Damn! Hey, what are you...
Quiet.
Huh? Somewhere beneath their feet, a faint hysterical laughter could be heard. Oh god, no, not the insane bitches! For a moment, the psychologist's hair stood on end. Y'all, I'm pretty sure you know what kind of laughter we're talking about, right? Like, imagine this sort of strange laughter. I'm sorry, like, a warning. Like this kind of laughter. You hear it downstairs, or even worse than that. And, like, you could run away. You could run the other way. It makes you feel so uncomfortable. Like, you could run away. God, where is that sound coming from?
Hush, little witch. Don't scare a demon away.
Great solutions. But where is it?
It seems that it's where it should be. On the ground.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Because demons belong in hell. It's where it's supposed to be, bitch. On the ground. Like, down below. And how do we get there? Jump until these old wooden boards break.
We will sneak around very quietly like mice. I'm sure we'll find it a little further on.
David, who was already moving, was so quiet that he even seemed to have stopped breathing. Simona flinched every time another piece of debris crunched under her feet. Me! Like, imagine you crunching down. Goddamn.
And here's our creaky door.
Simona didn't see a door, but she followed David's gaze and realized they still had to go underground. Under David's feet there was a cast iron hatch with a heavy ring in the middle.
You can stay here and guard the exit if you're afraid to go down.
The heck? I mean, I would appreciate it. But on the other side, no way in hell. Don't test me. Y'all, we do be saying curiosity killed the cat, but apparently also like having pride can get you killed. And I am extremely prideful. Do not tempt me. Do not tell me I can't do something. I will do everything inhumanly possible in order to prove you wrong. Do not test me. I'm going down. Simona immediately imagined someone else's head poking out of the hatch instead of David's and how she would run in terror down the narrow passage back to the basement before or after breaking through the doors. As if I'm not afraid. Oh, we're very afraid.
Then please follow me.
I'm just saying what we all already know. With a terrible, deafening creak, David lifted the hatch and without a moment's doubt plunged waist deep into the ominous pitch-black darkness.
I hope this hatch doesn't lead straight to hell.
The black humor. Okay, I appreciate him again. Let's hope that the author's not ruining him again. A second after David's head disappeared into the darkness, Simona immediately followed. Oh my god. She felt as if she were being enveloped in cold, wet matter. Her palms stuck to the ice-cold ladder and her legs kept slipping off. It's like I'm stepping into a grave. Girl, you knew that this was not gonna be funny. When the steps ended, Simona crouched down, supporting herself with one leg and trying to find the ground with the other, but there was nothing there. How am I supposed to jump? How far down is the ground? Suddenly, familiar hands grabbed her by the waist and gently placed her on the ground. Barely holding back a frightened scream, Simona turned around in indignation and almost collided with David's face. Thank you, Daddy. Very much appreciated. This man saw that we were struggling our asses off and he was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna be a perfect gentleman. I'm gonna carry you down. Thank you, Daddy. I'm gonna give you a tip later on.
Do you want to stay like this for a little longer, or shall we keep going?
Now let me remain in your arms. It's very comfy. Simona carefully freed herself from his hands. By all means, let's get this over with quickly. Her eyes adjusted quickly to the darkness, and after a minute, Simona began to make out the outlines of the wall and the moving silhouette of her partner. A light loomed in the distance. The closer they got, the clearer its source became. It was a door, a faint glow seeping through its cracks.
Now stay here.
Excuse-moi? The fuck you mean stay here? Didn't you tell me to come so that we can take care of this bitch? Both of us? Not just you? Simona stopped obediently, but as soon as David grabbed the door handle, her legs carried her forward. Son, what if you need help? Like, you're in time of need too. Like, I need to make sure that you survive. One look over David's shoulder was enough for her to understand what was going on here. Oh my god. The room was littered with garbage and a stuffy, dirty man who vaguely resembled a human was scurrying around it. It seems we found the missing owner of the house. Oh my god. He was actually trapped in there. The missing owner of the house, they actually placed him in there. Finally noticing the uninvited guests, the man backed away toward the wall in fear but stumbled and fell on his back. Oh my god.
Demon, oh, you found me, you hellspawn.
He shrieked and stamped his heels against the floor, crawling further away, never taking his eyes off David.
I'm afraid you have me confused with someone else.
I mean, you fine like the devil. I'm pretty sure that's what he means. Smiling charmingly and ignoring the man's pathetic resistance, David lifted the man to his feet and shook him lightly.
Come on, Simona, go back upstairs. We'll be right behind you.
He's gonna use some sort of manipulation bullshit, because this is not the first time that he tells us to go away, to let him do his BS. The man noticed her and was about to rush toward her, but David deftly grabbed him by the scruff of the neck like a kitten.
What are you standing around for? Run, call for help.
Simona froze in shock. His words suddenly resonated with a strange pain in her soul. Slowly like a worm, one of her oldest buried memories emerged. Huh? The same dirty, shaggy creature looked at her from the depths of the basement, trying to convince her that it was a human being. Fingers black with dirt and blood scratched the concrete floor, trying to reach out and grab her, and the chain was pulled so tight that it seemed like the thin neck of the tormented creature was about to snap. It's just a dream.
Help me.
Noticing that his partner did not share his excitement, but instead looked like she was about to faint, David shook the man so hard that he quieted down.
Simona, this is not a demon. This is the owner of the house. An ordinary person, do you hear me?
What's wrong with us? Simona bit down hard on her cheek to hold back her tears, whispering more to herself than anyone else. I know. It's always just a person. Oh my god. Do we have nightmares? Are we dreaming? Are we having vivid dreams about demons? Oh god, not like shadow hunters, sort of. Memories that have been manipulated out of our minds are slowly emerging again. Trying not to show any fears, I'm gonna turn around and trudged back on weak legs.
I don't understand. How could someone sell a house with a person inside? Well, if that person is confined to the basement and doesn't bother anyone, why not?
The realtor knew about him. I'm sure of it. And I think it's worth talking to the poor man's wife.
Sure as la femme.
Uh-huh. Look for the woman. Ah. Oh! My reaction, goddamn, sorry. He's French, no wonder he's so fine. Like, I don't understand, like, in general, I keep on saying it again and again and again. Like, outside beauty does not matter. And I did say everything there was to say. If you would ask me personally, what's my type? Like, everyone has, like, some sort of preference when it comes to the face. Even though, again, do not waste too much time on the outside beauty. Because in my eyes, it's the inner beauty that counts. If you would ask me what my preference is, I wouldn't be capable to tell you. Because in my eyes, I fall in love with the personality and then I slowly learn to love the face. Because in my eyes, if your personality is ugly, it makes you ugly, no matter how fine you are. If we don't get along, I can't find you attractive. That's how things go. So I can't really say, oh, I'm into blue eyes. Or I love black hair. I can't say that. Because in my eyes, it depends on the person. But we can all agree David is fine.
I'm sure they're hiding somewhere together.
The client kept glancing at the previous owner of the house. He sat on the floor, resignedly rocking back and forth. Poor him, he traumatized for life. I'm pretty sure this wasn't his option.
Simona, what should we do with our basement dwelling friend?
Isn't it obvious? We should call an ambulance. We should call the police. We should find his relatives. At this point, this is some BS. We should call the police. Let them deal with him and all this nonsense. David discussed further action with the client, purely legal matters, and then took out his mobile phone. After waiting for the police to arrive, David handed the house's former owner over to them and called a taxi. Poor him.
Well, shall we meet in court?
With a charming smile, David extended his hand to the client. Path of high reputation. Thank you. The client shook his hand firmly, then turned to the psychologist.
Thank you so much. Without you, I wouldn't have definitely lost my mind.
You're welcome.
You did good, Simona. Let's go home.
All in all, it didn't go too badly. I think I know what I'm going to tell Michael. Oh, we're gonna stay. We're the bitches that are gonna stay. Astrea Detective Agency. You're welcome, by the way. After grabbing a snack at a cafe, the newly formed team hurried to report back to their boss on a job well done. Without knocking, David looked into Michael's office, then closed the door and leaned against the wall.
He's a little busy right now. Let's wait in the corridor.
Simona leaned against the opposite wall and decided to use the break to think about whether she was making the right decision. We're making the very right decision. Living amongst fine-ass men. I mean, I know life is more than that, but come on now. Who wouldn't jump at the opportunity to could fulfill their desires? Come on. They actually allow you to fulfill your darkest desires. The temptation is there. I could always try to appeal the court's decision and get my license back. I mean, you could, but I want to stay. For some reason, the thought that it was still possible for her to fight for her medical practice weighed heavily on her heart.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, you know, work.
Do you have any questions?
Actually, I do. They barely told me anything about the job, and I was too depressed to ask. What do your cases usually involve, other than haunted houses?
Well, we most often deal with possessions, of course.
They're all demons. Oh, I love this. Please tell me the supernatural. Of course.
If a possessed person has murder on their record, then CASSIEL usually handles those cases.
Poor him. And my job is to figure out if our potentially possessed person is sick.
Exactly, and if not, we hand them over to the priests.
Let him perform an exorcism. God, it's so hilarious. Not the police? No. How are police gonna get the demon out of him?
All you have to do...
I'm so sorry. That's just so funny to me. Like, if someone is possessed, bitch, you find out if they possessed. If they are possessed, then they're going over to the priesthood. After the priest is done with the demon, sorry ass, then they can go over to the police. That's too funny.
Only after the exorcism. We don't need any more corpses.
Damn! Sounds grim.
I agree. But we don't just do grim jobs. Sometimes we test all kinds of miracles. And you'd be surprised how different miracles can be.
I'd be surprised by pretty much any miracle.
We also studied cursed objects. This is RAPHAEL's area of expertise.
What about Michael?
He listens to what you and I have to say and then decides if the matter is worth bringing to higher authorities.
Is there someone higher up than Michael? The gods.
There's always someone higher up.
Yes.
Our bosses haven't visited us for a long time, but they will eventually.
I can't wait to meet the founders of such an unusual agency.
I wouldn't be so eager if I were you. They are not the nicest people.
Oh well. The greater demons. Finally, the door to the office swung open and a woman my apologies.
What a surprise, fell. I hope everything worked out this time.
In response, the woman grimaced as if the question had caused her physical pain. All right.
As if it wouldn't, David. I love your confidence.
Bye.
Even more than you
Okay, now I think I'm starting to get this man's personality. And honestly, it gives. This man, like, this reminds me of something. Like, I said this to someone. Like, I couldn't stand the person in front of me, and I was gently telling him to fuck off. And he was like, oh, you're so funny. My sister was next to me, and she was like, Simona, why are you trying to be funny? And I was like, I'm not trying to be funny at all. I'm just being extremely honest, telling this man to fuck off, and he thinks I'm joking. Like, this man is just like that, you know? Like, he takes cunning to an extreme level. And he also mixes it with dark humor. Not a lot of people are capable to appreciate dark humor. I actually do. So I actually understand this man's humor, and I love him for it. Like, this man just said that in order to be capable to actually survive in this bitch-ass world, you actually need to be capable to take things with a breather. As in, he is not someone that takes things extremely serious. Like, when he's on a commission and he's on work, like, he is professional. And he is very responsible. He knows how to take care of his job. Like, he actually deserves to get all the praise and the trust and whatever. But his real personality outside of work, where he's just being himself, this man has the personality of him being like, oh, what happens, happens. Like, you take things way too seriously. Like, take a breather, enjoy life. Life sucks enough as it is. Like, he's trying not to take things too seriously. If you get what I mean. Like, that's the attitude. The woman threw a murderous look in his direction, then turned her attention to the new agency employee. Her eyes are furious. Clearly something has made her very angry. Meet her gaze, look away. I know I'm a bitch. But I'm a bad bitch. I'm not a sad bitch. So, meet her gaze. What you want? Simona raised her chin, curious to see what the woman would do next. What you gonna do? Try me. But the woman just nodded slightly before rushing down the corridor to the exit. That's what I thought. Nice to meet you too. The woman will remember you. You can remember me all you want. Again, you can watch, but you can't touch. Like, you can watch me from afar. That's fine. In my eyes, that's how I roll in life, ladies and gentlemen. You bitch at me, I bitch at you. You treat me with respect, you're lovable to me, I'm lovable to you. Like, the energy you give me, that's the energy I give out. Because I feel like if you start bullshit, I'm not starting bullshit, I end it. Okay? I don't feel the need to be the bigger person in an argument, in an unnecessary argument even, that you started in order to bring me down when I was just sitting here at the end of the table, sipping my coffee, living my best life, not touching anything, like just minding my own fucking business. You decided to bring your bitch ass into my comfort zone, disturbing my peace. I will destroy yours. I don't start the fight, I finish it. You give me bitch ass attitude, I give you bitch ass attitude too. Who was that?
Oh, that's Michael's headache.
I understand, Michael.
Valonia.
Is she his girlfriend or something?
She's an informant from the police department.
A whirlwind of questions immediately swirled around Simona's head, but Michael's loud voice kept them from escaping.
Come in.
Alright. Michael, we met your bitch-ass girlfriend. With his fingers locked together, Michael listened attentively to a brief retelling of the events that had taken place in the haunted house.
So everything went well.
Without thinking, Simona summed it up. Path of skepticism. Everything went as I expected. The demon turned out to be human, and the possession was a consequence of illness. I just want to note that everything can be explained as long as you are able to find an explanation for it.
David, what do you say? I fully support my partner's words.
Of course, this man would be on the skepticism path, especially if he is like someone that supports dark humor.
There are no demonic forces there, and there never were. In that case, I'll ask one last question, Simona. Would you like to stay and work here?
Would I? If I continue to be of use, of course. If it's as fun as it was today. This job isn't that much different from mine. It will never be as much of fun. And this is my responsible side coming out. Don't mind my sorry ass. It's not that different from mine. Like, I can take care of it. I will be a good asset to your squad. I don't think I'll encounter anything that will change my worldview. And I'm used to working with people. It's just the feel of work that has changed here.
In that case, it's a pleasure to welcome you to the Astrea Detective Agency. I hope your new position will be an invaluable and extremely positive experience.
Simona smiled sincerely back at him. Michael was in no hurry to take his eyes off her. Again, you can touch, but you can look, but you can't touch. It's as if he wanted to tell her something else, but couldn't bring himself to. And not with this bitch next to us. Like, David, please, the exit. I wonder if he would have said anything else if David wasn't here. What did I say? David, please. The man's stately figure was like a statue chiseled out of marble. And all his emotions are stored under that stone skin. It's not easy to breach. Michael was one of those people who possessed enormous strength and steely endurance. That's what I want to break. It would be so interesting to try and melt his eyes and find out what's underneath. Oh my god. Me too, bitch. Me too. And you see, like, I'm interested in men like these. I said it so many times already. I'm not gonna say more about this. Again, the diamond in the rough that is hidden beneath that wall of pain and sorrows. You bitch ass coming to me, like treating me badly or not being capable to control your emotions. That's you actually just using your defensive shield because you know that I'm gonna be capable to break it. So I'm intrigued to know what you're hiding. I'm intrigued to know what a pure soul like you had to go through in order like to create that defensive shield. A. B. That's the same with people that feel the need to be extremely sarcastic all the time. Like you feel the need to joke about everything because you actually trying to be reasonable for once and actually being like bringing your level to a normal amount, like your positive level, and actually allowing like seriousness to sink in is too depressing for you and you can't deal with that. So you feel the need to always highlight the fun side of things because there is no negativity that you haven't experienced. So I'm intrigued with both of them. Without breaking eye contact, Michael tilted his head slightly, but that was enough for Simona to shake off those thoughts. God, what am I thinking? What I want you to think.
We simply have to throw a party for this occasion.
Bye. Michael turned his tired gaze to David. He's so done with him.
Do whatever you think is necessary, but not within these walls.
Ooh! He said, bye, bitch. Not under my roof. David didn't seem at all surprised or upset by that answer.
Oh, I'll find somewhere to unwind outside of this dirty place. Do you have any more questions, Simona?
I'm just curious. What's our next case? David clicked his tongue loudly and answered in Michael's place.
My dear little witch, why are you so eager to work so hard, especially when you've just started? You should get comfortable, let the intense events of this day sink in, and relax. The monsters are not going anywhere. David is absolutely right. Rest. I won't bother you tomorrow.
After saying goodbye to the boss, they left the office. Whatever you say, my guy, I will find a way to make you crumble.
I left you a small gift in your room, several outfits, so that you can look stunning here too.
Speaking of outfits, I want you to give me the key to my room.
How am I supposed to sneak in and leave gifts for you then?
Leave them at the door, I don't know, but you can't just go into my room. He actually has a key. I'm sure you'll think of something. Throw it in the window. Thank you for your concern.
Oh, you're welcome, my dear little witch. I'll also bring you dresser for a trip to the club.
Who said I was going with you? He said. And I'm fucking in for the confidence. Honestly. Like, honestly, since I'm extremely introverted, like, usually I don't go out. Like, because in my surroundings, I don't have friends. So I'm mostly sitting inside, like on my computer, like on my phone, etc., like doing my stuff. I would actually need someone like that. He's like, bitch, you stand up and you're going outside. Like, we humans get used to a lot of things. Like, we're versatile. We learn to adjust. So if you are at home all the time, then you are used to being at home all the time. If you are outside all the time, then you feel the need to always be outside. You can be versatile, that's fine.
Then who will keep me company? Raphael has locked himself in his room and is wallowing in his blues.
Aww.
You'd probably have to knock CASSIEL out and tie him up if you want to get him to a club.
CASSIEL, that's me.
And if it's better if Michael doesn't know exactly where I'm taking you.
Okay, I am intrigued.
You did great today, and I'm glad we're on the same team. Alright, get some rest. I'll pick you up tomorrow evening.
Alright. You do you, my guy. Simona sat on the edge of the bed and ran her fingers over the expensive fabric of her new clothes. This is all so unusual. Feels like a dream. Unable to resist, Simona stood up and tried on the first outfit. Bye. Let's see what you brought me this time. My god. Honey. Cute. Okay. Alright. Honestly, they all look shitty. Honestly, they do. I'm gonna go with this one because honestly, this is what I would wear. They need to give me something. From now on, you will wear this outfit when you are in the house. Fine by me. That's like the only outfit that was acceptable. Honestly, now. Like, you see my gems. I could pay. There was no way I'm wasting gems on those outfits. They were, Simona twirled in front of the mirror. I definitely need to go out into the city and restock my wardrobe since I'm going to be here for a while. I can't have David bringing me clothes all the time. Honestly, at this point, I would be like, thank you, sugar daddy. You want to buy me clothes? Apparently, this man already figured out our clothing signs. I have no fucking idea how he did it, but it don't really matter. He knows our clothing signs. You want to charm your way into my heart. You want to buy your way in. Feel the need to do it. Do it for all I care. Doesn't mean I'm gonna choose you at the end of the day, but if you feel it's necessary, I'm gonna allow you to bring me clothes. Bring them to me. Come on. I'm not shy. After laying out the rest of her things, Simona put her travel bag in the closet. Well, hello, new home. Hello, new life. The wave of relief brought with it a slight pang of guilt in the shape of an old friend waiting to meet her. No, not today. I'm too happy to have finally moved on. I don't want to go back to the past, even if it's to one of the better parts. Sorry, Ruth. To take her mind off stupid thoughts, Simona decided to take another walk in the garden that beaconed so persistently from the bedroom window. On her way there, she didn't meet a single inhabitant of the mansion. Vampires. There wasn't even the sound of a violin coming from the living room. Now that's actually shitty. Absolute silence. God, no. They're all done. It feels like I'm all alone in the house. Where did these bitches go? Do they have like a meeting where I'm not invited to? The soft chirping of crickets eased the oppressive loneliness, and Simona soon felt much better. Honestly, I prefer the complete silence than have crickets around. And because that actually just symbolizes the loneliness. Goddamn. Peering into the bizarre shadows, she walked until she reached an already familiar place, the statue of an angel. A feeling of peace washed over Simona, and she sat down on the cool bench and closed her eyes. This time her conscience took pity on her and allowed her to enjoy a complete absence of thought. I'm sure this will become my favorite place. At some point, Simona dozed off. She was brought back to her senses by the sound of a nearby branch cracking. Jumping up from the bench, Simona listened. The crunch did not repeat, but the rest of the sounds of the garden disappeared. Even the crickets had become eerily silent. There's definitely someone here. A broken branch caught her eye, not too heavy, but weight enough to hurt. I'll definitely buy pepper spray tomorrow, but for now, not pepper spray. Not the stick. You know what? Take it. I am not afraid to use a bitch. Without thinking twice, Simona grabbed the branch and readied herself by. With a back almost leaning against the statue, Simona peered intently into the thicket of the garden, hoping to see a familiar figure. At least the statue covers me from behind. With each breath, her fear receded further and further until all that remained was a sense of her own absurdity. Maybe I imagined it? I'd rather go home and drink some chamomile tea, not the chamomile tea. She says she's dying in her delusion. As soon as she took a step forward, a heavy hand grabbed her shoulder. Fuck no! In her imagination, she vividly saw the marble angel bending over her with its arm outstretched by. Oh my god. Turning sharply, Simona swung her pitiful weapon with all her might. Oh god. You're asking me if I'm out of my mind. Are you done? No, I'm not. Oh, you're out of your mind. Without even trying to dodge, the man looked in surprise at the broken branch in her hands, then at the dirty stain on his shirt. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Me. This is my place. I don't see your name on it, bitch. Your place, poor guy. They don't even let you into the house. Damn! She said it like that. She said, bitch, you're such a piece of shit. Not even the owner of the house wants you inside. Period. You'd see the ditch. You see me dissing you. Yeah, looks like we didn't get off on the right foot. Not even back then. Now it does not continue better. Look, you just startled me. Who even speaks up on people like that?
Alright, forget it.
As if ignoring her, Cassiel sat down on the bench where Simona had been sitting not so long ago. So what now? Should I leave? I was here first. Not one to give up, Simona sat down next to him, quietly enjoying Cassiel's displeased expression. Period. We're enjoying this man's bitch-ass attitude. You feel the need to actually send me away? Bitch, you can try, but I was here first. I could care less what happened before I came here, but after I arrived here, I was enjoying the best day of my life before your sorry ass showed up. Like, I'm not leaving. You don't want me here, then you will actually have to kick me away. The irritation disappeared as quickly as it had appeared. This is his home, after all, and I'm just a guest. No, we are part of the same squad now. This is our house, too. I like this place. I feel more relaxed here. Taking a deep breath, Cassiel turned his head toward the woman.
Do you even know what this statue is?
She really wished she did so she could show him up, but Simona had no idea. Nope.
It's a statue of Astrea.
The Greek goddess? Without reacting to her answer, Cassiel continued.
She lived among humans for a long time. She was a deity who descended to Earth to protect the people of this world.
And you worship her? If not, why is all of this standing here? Cassiel looked at her like she was crazy.
It's a little late to pray to her. The ungrateful creatures disappointed Astrea with their cruelty and wickedness. She left this world long ago, taking with her the golden age of humanity.
Not knowing how to respond to the story, which didn't move her at all, Simona turned away. How am I supposed to react to this legend? Astrea only has herself to blame. Goddamn! She only has herself to blame. That's the cruelest thing ever. Couldn't Didi see the true face of humanity right away? Damn! Not them tackling actually this. First she based them in luxury, then she's surprised by their depravity. I mean, sadly, that's how things are. We get used to things. If you keep on actually complimenting me, then I get used to the fact that I always do everything right. That I can get around with just being doing the bare minimum. If you don't compliment me, then I feel the need that I need to work hard in order to get the approval, as in real approval. Not that someone just says, oh, you're doing great, just in order to lick my ass, sort of. That's the sad thing here. The angel said she really was painfully sad. It's like we all broke her heart. The silence that followed started to get on Simona's nerves. He stole my tranquility. Why is she always bitching at him? I mean, I know he's acting like a brat, but still. She wanted to get up and leave, but she didn't want to give up the spot that she had already come to love. How stupid. On impulse, Simona stood up. Ooh. I'm sorry, buddy. You're fine. We gotta be honest. So what should I do? No, I'm gonna stay. I'm not gonna leave him. Like the heck, you came here disturbing my peace and now I'm leaving. You said that you can have what you want. I'm here to stay. Standing across from Cassiel, Simona pressed her back against the statue. Maybe you have other picturesque spots in your garden? I could go there instead.
Yes, but I'd advise against stumbling around the garden in the dark.
Well, then you keep me company and show me the other places. Adorable. Is it even worth trying to get him to talk? Honestly, ask about his arm. What happened, bitch? Does it still hurt?
You're not as strong as you think.
I'm not talking about the branch. I'm talking about your wound. Finally, there was an emotion that wasn't displeasure on Cassiel's face. Surprise. Yeah, we noticed your arm.
How did you know there was something wrong with my arm?
Really? How do you know, Simona? I happened to see you bandaging your arm while I was on my way to my room.
Happened? How often do you happen to see something in other people's bedrooms?
Your door was wide open. Don't think I'm a stalker. I'm far too old to be told off like a little girl. If you're so afraid of being seen, close the door. Period.
Oh, I will, don't worry.
Ugh, little bitch. After counting to 10, Simona pulled herself together and continued as if nothing had happened. Your bandaging skills are terrible. If you need help next time, don't hesitate to ask. As if holding back a snide remark, CASSIEL fell silent for a while.
I've managed somehow, so far.
Stubborn. All right. Well, try to understand him. What happened, bitch? I'll pretend he's a patient. He's just a normal person after all. Stealing a glance at CASSIEL's face, the psychologist noticed a scar. And a gray strand. How could I not have noticed that right away? It was so unusual to see such a young man carrying such painful imprints of life experiences. How old is he? Can't be more than 30. Behind his defiant behavior, he's hiding some kind of pain. It's so obvious. It's funny I didn't think of it right away. I mean, he must be having a lot of resentment and pain inside of him, but so does every human being. And the easiest way to find out that someone has suffered a lot is that it's very difficult to actually get close to them. Because if you actually have been traumatized or hurt extremely in the past, then it's a normal reaction for you not wanting to feel. Because you don't want to go back to that part of you that was easily manipulated or easily harmed. That's how things work. Meeting her gaze, CASSIEL arched an eyebrow questioningly.
Are you going to ask me something?
Whether you like it or not, we're going to have to live under the same roof for a while. I don't know why you're so annoyed, but I suspect it's not about me. CASSIEL turned his gaze to the statue of Astrea, as if seeking its support or advice.
Just try to stay out of trouble and everything will be fine.
So you're not the one who's supposed to get us all out of trouble?
Everyone in this place except you can take care of themselves. MIKAEL put a huge responsibility on my shoulders that I didn't ask for.
No one asks for responsibility, especially not this kind of responsibility. Like, imagine actually having 6 people that you could have on your conscience because you weren't capable enough to look out for them. Got it. I'll try not to get into trouble. At least I already know not to pick up objects that try to talk to me. In response to the joke, CASSIEL sighed in resignation.
It would be much easier if you believed in all this. Personally, I don't believe in psychology, but I don't scream at every turn that what you're doing is nonsense.
Wait, what? You don't believe in psychology? That's interesting.
I'll need to talk to you before your next case.
Okay. Having calmed down a little, CASSIEL lowered his tense shoulders. A small victory. Gradually, CASSIEL is starting to change his opinion of you. Okay, you can spend more time with CASSIEL. Yeah, thank you. Share the news that you are now colleagues. Not his face, he's like, oh gosh, this bitch is still here. I'm now officially part of your friendly team.
I gathered as much.
Wow, so he's not only strong, but smart too. But as I understand it, you and I work in completely different fields. Poorly hiding his irritation, CASSIEL suddenly opened up.
I've no idea why MIKAEL would need an employee like you. But there's a deeper meaning to everything about us. Sometimes it's something only he understands.
You don't want to try and figure it out? The man slowly shook his head.
You'll run away as soon as you can encounter something you can't explain. It will happen sooner or later.
Wow, he's abandonment issues. Ooh. I feel like I need to add this in here so that maybe some of you ask yourselves how I'm capable to read people. We all speak about what we have experienced. And especially women, we have the tendency to say what we feel. and not actually what we want to say, okay? We say what we feel. We mix our emotions with what we want to say, and then we allow our emotions like to take the upper hand. And then we say what we feel instead of saying something logical, as in what we mean. We say what we feel. So, when someone actually looks at you and you're talking about, I don't know, not every parent wants what's good for their children. While you are out there saying, yeah, my parents did everything they could in order to give me a better life, and the person in front of you says something like that, then you know that they didn't have a very good relationship with their parents. Maybe they weren't there for them when they needed it. They needed to grow up all by themselves. So that means that they needed to be independent. And that means that they were also extremely lonely, could also have grown into being extremely introverted. And they don't know how to socialize because they always were only capable to depend on themselves. You can read a lot of those things in a person's answer. I don't think so. We'll see. Whatever you say, my guy. Say goodbye. The cold of the statue pierced her down to the bone. Shivering, Simona pulled away from the statue and shook herself off. I guess I should go. Suddenly, Cassiel stood up as well. I'll walk you home. Really? Me? No need. I don't think anything will happen to me on the way. I don't think he cares. He feels the need to do so, because we're part of the squad now. After a short moment of hesitation, Cassiel sat back down. Okay, just go straight home. Okay. He said straight home. Cassiel's desire to see her off made her a little nervous. The garden no longer felt like a heaven of absolute safety and tranquility. Maybe he did this on purpose so that I would spend less time here. I don't think so. Consumed by her thoughts, Simona quietly reached the corridor leading to the bedrooms. I should take a shower before bed. As she passed the door leading to Cassiel's room, Simona kept her ears open. A familiar whisper was coming from the adjacent room. Raphael. Remembering his upcoming conversation with his father, Simona froze. Could his father be here? Hesitant to invade another person's privacy, Simona began to quietly struggle with her own conscience. Of course, this isn't entirely ethical, and I shouldn't make a habit of doing this, but don't I have the right to know if there's someone else in the house? Especially since this is my home now, too. I mean, you don't necessarily need to know if there is, like, the boy's sister there, to put an example in here. Like, family is family business. You stay out of it. Now that she and her conscience were in agreement, Simona quietly approached the door. As soon as I hear his father's voice, I'll return to my room. In order to hear what the young man was saying, she had to press herself against the door. I just hope that Cassiel decides to sit on his beloved bench a little longer.
I don't know what to do. And why do you leave me when I needed you the most?
Oh, is he talking to himself?
I remember every word you said, but it's getting harder and harder for me to believe them.
There was a rustling sound, and then there was a silence. After standing there for a little while, when I was about to leave, but this voice spoke again. It was even softer, but rougher and more guttural, as if each letter was difficult for Raphael to pronounce.
I feel blood and death. It's so close that I can hear its breathing.
Demon. Huh?
It can't be stopped. I don't know how to stop it.
Oh my gosh, so he has the desire to actually kill.
Why won't you tell me? Why won't you help me stop this?
The voice shrieked and trailed off. What is he talking about?
Give me a sign, Father, or tomorrow she will die.
Huh? Who? Okay, first off, who? And second, who are you trying to kill? Me? Because there's no way in hell you're catching me alive. No pun intended. But oh well. Honestly, David piqued my interest, not gonna lie. Raphael is a cutie pie, he needs to be protected. I have no idea what that last conversation meant. Maybe we will figure out a little bit the next episode. We didn't get to see much from MIKAEL this episode, so I don't know how to feel about him. Again, we are not allowing hotness to overshadow or moral. So let's see what the next episodes will give us. I know that I'm waiting for a red flag. Everyone in the comment section already said it multiple times. So let's just see what surprise next episode will have for me. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.